Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel Mothers Teach. My name is Simone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today is a very disturbing and triggering report that's been going on in the news now about a family in Texas. Now, I will get into more details in a minute, but I will say if you have not already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that way you know every time I post a new video, which I try to get out there at least once a week or every couple of weeks. Today's video is very sad, and I'm actually in the car driving. We're getting ready to go to North Carolina to visit friends and family, but I seen this morning as we were like getting ready to get out the door, and this story really triggered me, and is very heartbreaking. And I just want to give you guys some details, or kind of like a brief summary of what's going on, and then show you clips of the family talking about their situation and what they're going through. So as you can see in the title, you know, the question is, is it illegal to do as you please with your child? Is it illegal to have a midwife treat your child for jaundice or, other ailments? If a midwife can take care of it or help with natural remedies to remedy jaundice, is that illegal? So I just want you to keep that question in your mind and comment down below if you've heard of this story. But I'm just going to go ahead and get started with pretty much the summary of what's going on with this case. So there's a family in Texas who has said that they've been going to this pediatrician for over 10 years, have had no problems. They decided to have a home birth, and they hired a midwife by the name of Dr. Cheryl. I'm not sure her last name. You probably will see in a clip that I'll show you in a little bit. But this midwife was there and supported them through their home birth. The baby came out fine, healthy, and I think she just had a touch of jaundice. Now, they did take her into their normal pediatrician that they, have for their other children, and they went there after 3 days of giving birth to Mila. Mila Jackson is her name, the baby's name. And they took her in, and the doctor that they saw, the pediatrician, said that she was perfectly fine, very healthy. She just has some jaundice. So they went home, everything was fine, and they got with their midwife, and they continued care with their midwife. And later that day, the pediatrician hit them up by a phone call and pretty much said that, he advised that they take her, into the doctors, in the hospital, and get her treated for her jaundice. They said, that's okay. We are deciding to go with our midwife in order to continue her care and her treatment. 11:30 at night, which I think is so odd. 11:30 at night. We can't even call our doctors at 11:30 at night. So now they can just text us at 11:30 at night with their concerns. So he continued to text the mother at 11:30 at night to say if they do not take the baby to the hospital, he was threatening to call CPS. That is just so disgusting that you would do that. So at 4 a.m. in the morning, the police are banging at their door. They show up she said the fire department showed up and CPS showed up, demanding that they hand over Mila Jackson, and that Mila Jackson is now in the care of CPS. I'm just going to run the clip so you guys can see for yourself the parents and just how they're recollecting and reflecting on what happened and sharing their experience with CPS and the police department and their experience with this pediatrician. So I'm going to go ahead and play the two clips now, and stick around for the end because I do want to go into a little bit more detail about what we can do to support this family.
Dr. Cheryl via a home birth, as I wanted to be able to tell my birth story and have my birth story the way that I wanted it to be. I wanted to be at home and in comfort with my husband. And so I was able to do that on March 21st. I delivered my baby girl, Mila Jackson, at 5:28 in the morning, at home with my husband and my midwife. It was a beautiful birth. She was perfect, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. 3 days later, we decided to take her to a pediatrician just for a newborn checkup. Within that visit, we were told everything is good, she looks great. The only thing is she has jaundice. Jaundice is a very common thing. Many of our family friends and families' children have had jaundice. So we left that visit thinking everything was fine. A couple hours later, the pediatrician called my phone and wanted us to direct admit Mila into the hospital. We told him that we would get with our midwife, as she's our care provider, and figure out exactly what we wanted to do. Shortly after that, he texted my phone and gave me 3 options for taking care of Mila. We told him thank you and let him know that we would start those care options. Later that night, around 11:30, he texted my phone and said that we are going against what he feel like we should do for our child, and if we do not admit her into the hospital immediately for jaundice, that he was going to call CPS. At 4 a.m., we're asleep. I'm asleep with the baby. My husband is asleep. Police officers are banging at our door with CPS. We let them know they have no jurisdiction and they needed to leave, which they did in that moment. An hour later, they came back with more officers, more CPS workers, a fire truck, and an ambulance, demanding that we hand over Mila, saying that she is now in the care of CPS. We again told them to leave, which eventually they did. The very next day, our midwife reached out to the pediatrician, just letting him know that pretty much he has traumatized us. We were traumatized. We were woken up by police banging at our door at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. And so after she gave him all the credentials that he was requesting from her, he pretty much said he was going to leave our care in our midwife's hands. And so we lived life. We went to soccer. We did everything that you do on a Saturday and a Sunday. And then that Tuesday, my husband was walking our dog, and constable is banging at the door. I'm inside with Mila. I call my husband and I let him know there's police outside. He immediately turns around and comes back to the house. He's met by 6 constables, pretty much demanding that he let them into our home, and they had a writ. And so my husband said he will not be allowing them to go into the home, but if they have a writ, they can do whatever it is that they need to do. He made sure not to block our front door or anything like that. The constables chose to arrest my husband so that they could take his key and use his key to unlawfully enter my home and come and take my baby from me.
From that point, since then, the way we're appearing now, we've been foot on the ground, reaching out to anyone. I'm sorry.
When they came in and took her from me, I requested that I needed to see the paperwork. And so they insisted, no, give her first. And so they took her from my arms and they gave me paperwork. When they left, I looked at the paperwork, and the paperwork had another mother's name on it. It was DC CPS versus another mother, which I won't say her name, but it was not my name. And so instantly I felt like they had stolen my baby, as I had had a home birth, and they are trying to say that my baby belonged to this other woman. There was no contact information for me. I did not know where to turn. They had taken my husband from me and then took my daughter from me, and I was left by myself. And so I immediately went to the police station and said that my daughter was stolen and I needed help. The officer found a CPS caseworker's name and number and gave that to me. And from that moment, I was yelling that this is not me. This person who's on this affidavit is not me. Y'all took the wrong baby. Y'all should not have taken my baby. And from there, we have been fighting every day.
We went to state representative.
The other woman is my child's mother. It also says that that woman's husband is my child's father. I don't know this woman. I've never seen this name before. She's not a friend, not a family member. And we have come to learn that this other mother that's listed has previous CPS cases where her kids were taken from her. And so I feel as if my child was removed so quickly because they have this other mother's name listed on this affidavit. And she have a history with CPS and her children being taken from her husband beating her in front of the kids. And that is not us, and yet my child Mila is attached to this name, and they've removed my child due to the history of another mother who is not myself.
We've had only 2 visits with her. The most recent one yesterday, where we were towards the end of the visit, we were changing her diaper, and come to find out she has irritation on her private areas. We do further investigation and open her up, and she has what seems to be yeast or white substance. I have no idea what it is.
Inside her vagina. And so we immediately bring this to the attention of CPS. They come in, and again, we just feel like criminals and everything because we brought this to their attention. They immediately brought an officer into the room. Like, why are we being treated as if we're doing something bad to our child? Yet in y'all's care, my child now has red bumps on her vagina. She has built up white crust inside her vagina. And so we're wanting to know, what are you going to do? And they're saying, oh, we're going to have a foster parent to take her to the doctor. We're objecting to that because that same foster parent is where this buildup and this irritation occurred. And yet you're sending her back to this same foster family. And we just feel helpless in this situation, as if I don't know what to say.
That's just kind of like where I'm at right now with the story. And this is just so triggering and heartbreaking for me to hear. I can't imagine what the family is going through right now. I mean, it's just, I think Mila was only 9 days old, and she was just born on March 21st. So she's days old, guys. She's 2 weeks now, maybe. She needs her mother. She needs her parents. What if she was breastfeeding her? What is that looking like for her? Is she in foster care? I'm assuming that she is. It's so many times that I've heard stories, horrific stories that are happening to Black families all around the world. And we need it to stop, you guys. Like, for those who of you who are not of, African American or African descent, advocate for us. You guys, you see the wrong. It's terrible. And then, as you can see, the name wasn't even correct, and they were still able to take Mila, and the name's incorrect, and I still can't have my child back. It's just there's so many questions that I have. How were they able to get the wrong name and still be able to take someone's child? How is it that, you didn't have a writ, and you can maliciously do this to somebody? I just feel like the pediatrician had to give a name in order for them to be able, for him to get revenge. He had to give a name who had CPS history, and that was the only way that CPS would have came and gotten that child. And I am just so heartbroken at what I just saw. I'm sure you guys are very disturbed as well and triggered as well. I have been thinking about this case all day, you guys, all day. And, this video pretty much will be unedited because I am just so I'm speechless. I'm hurt for this family. I've been praying for this family. I just hope that they're able to get their child back. As you can see, she has irritation now. Her foster parent is not taking care of her. And then they want to give her back to the foster parent in order to get treatment for the neglect. And it's just it's just so, I cannot fathom, this whole situation. I cannot fathom. I would be going crazy right now. So please comment down below your thoughts, your opinions. I really would like to hear it. And also, there are ways that you can help this family. There are ways, so they're asking that you call the CPS department in Dallas, Texas, to advocate for them, to question them, to get answers for this family, maybe that they're not able to get. And they said, the system is designed to pretty much not be able to get through. But if we can keep trying and trying and trying to help this family, I would greatly appreciate it. And I know from the bottom of their heart that they would greatly appreciate the same thing. And I also want to say that you can also donate. You can donate to families who are going through the same type of situation. And I'll leave the link down below. And this just helps them, in their situation. And this is just so heartbreaking. And it's just so sad that our system is like this. Our systems are set up to break families apart like this. And it's sick. It's very sickening. The fact that we're still going through things like this in 2023. This is just like, it's disgusting, that I live in a country like this, that I live in a world like this, that can treat people wrongly and get away with it. And, as much, you're showing ID, you can still get away with this, to say that is not my name and I still can't get my child back. Our Black community is being targeted so hard. And a part of me feels so helpless. But I'm standing up and making this video and making sure that it gets out there. So I just ask that you please share this video, share it with your friends, share it with your family, just share it across your social media so that this can get out, so that way we can get justice and helping this family get reunited with their baby, Mila Jackson. So I would, really just like to, have everyone pray for this family, pray for Mila, that she's protected by our Father in heaven, and that, our Most High protects her and just keeps her with him and just watches over her, and that those who are in the wrong, as far as CPS, the police department, the pediatrician, most of all, that they are exposed for their wrongdoing and that they suffer the consequences. Just like this family is suffering, I hope that they suffer way worse. And so that's the end of this video. Please comment, like I said before, comment down below your opinions. And if you've heard anything about this story, if you've seen any updates on this story, please let us know in the comments. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I will be getting out more videos. I'm sorry, there's just been a lot of stuff going on at home that has been preventing me from doing so, but next week I will get on it, guys. So keep this family, the Jackson family in Texas, in your prayers. All right, until next time.
So for those of you who are not interested in buying the Toddler Busy Book, you can also donate. And you can donate by clicking the link down below in the description box called Buy Me a Coffee. And we thank you so much in advance for your kind donation.